You're watching TVC Midday News. To ramp up electricity supply nationwide, the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency has commenced an audit of facilities owned by distribution companies. This move is part of efforts to identify areas of weakness at connection points between the distribution companies and the transmission company of Nigeria. Correspondent Habida Lawal has details.
Empowered to enforce technical standards and regulations in the country, the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency says that the audit process is a new development. It is also part of efforts to identify areas of weakness at connection points between the distribution companies and the transmission company of Nigeria, with a view to ramping up power supply nationwide. The exercise signals the takeoff of the activities of the Task Force on Monitoring and Evaluation of Existing Electricity Networks, which aims to stem the use of substandard electrical materials and equipment in Nigeria. The first stop is the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. One of the objectives is to examine the 33/11 kilovolt injection substation status in terms of safety of operation, delivery of safe and reliable power to the 11 kilovolt feeders, as well as technical manpower, adequacy and capability.
We've seen that the 33 kV feeder lines, which is the primary feeder lines within the country, are encumbered by the connection of point loads across the feeders. And these have created a situation whereby you have these feeders now running into so many locations, creating an unsafe situations where you have crisscrossing of feeders. Anytime you want to carry out maintenance on any one of them, you have to knock up so many feeders, and your customers are now without power supply just for you to carry out a simple maintenance work.
And some of the things your task force will be looking at, which is really predictive, to start looking at areas not only where there's obvious problems, but where there are problems in the near and mid-term or even future. So we're now looking along those lines, and he spends his time making sure that the things that might happen, we're identifying them early.
At the Kubwa substation, the Chief Electrical Inspector of Nigeria said some of the issues that the task force hoped to resolve may have given rise to the system disturbances in the last few months.
It's just a way of adjusting. It's only the affected feeders will now go out and the grid will now stabilize within a short time.
By law, no distribution company is expected to install equipment without the statutory inspection, testing and certification by NEMSA, the sole agency empowered to do so.